All right, we are live for a special session to discuss the water and wastewater ordinance. Start, we'll pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. What was that? Doing that before the main ones. So we will again discuss the wastewater and water ordinance. While I have Kix here, because he's been doing the majority of those tap-ins and work on those, so he can exactly say what we probably should be doing, or at least give us some thoughts. So Kix, you have the floor.
I called Pike Gibson and Elberfeld both. Pike Gibson $1,600 to do a tap unless they have to bore it, and that's the additional charge. Elberfeld's $2,500, no matter whether they have to bore or not, but that's bore included if they have to do it. I think all of ours roughly on average have been right there in the same ballpark as Pike Gibson by the time it's installed. Pike Gibson actually just told me today that they're probably getting ready to increase theirs because meters are going up. So,
and that's just the water meter.
Correct.
Okay. And
that's labor and materials.
That's for a tap in.
Yep.
Okay. And what have we been?
Back in 2023, it was 900.
900. This is the current language.
To include, yeah. So the current language does not specify.
Right. Right.
It really
that's
is
the old one.
It's not going. I guess in my eyes, it's not going up at all. It's just giving people the peace of mind that if they come in here and want a water tap, that this is what it's going to cost, instead of saying having to call me and then try to figure out roughly a ballpark.
They should be dealing with the town and not
with him.
Right.
Right.
You shouldn't have to deal with them on it. I don't, my opinion anyway.
So the average you're saying of the last couple that you've done has been about 1,600.
Without boring, yes.
Without boring. And what's, again, speak to me like I'm a 5-year-old. What's the difference between having to bore or not?
So boring is like if the water main's on this side of the road and you're wanting to build over here, instead of having to actually dig across the road and then worry about paying to patch it later and this and that, they just shoot a bore underneath the road.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
And I think on average that's been, I'd say generally speaking on it, $1,200 range, something like that.
Yeah.
For the guys that we've been using in addition. And that's, in my eyes, is very reasonable for them coming all the way down here and doing that.
Okay. So we're not making any decisions today. We're just having the discussion. So what else, as you look through this ordinance?
The only other thing, really on that, that is only residential meters, which it's not like we have a whole lot of 2-inch meters or commercial going in, but I think, it's up to you guys. I don't really have a dog in that fight, but in my mind, that's probably better off staying an actual cost to include, because prices fluctuate when you get to bigger materials like that so much that.
So keep the residential with an actual rate.
Bigger materials like that so much that.
So keep the residential with an actual rate.
In my opinion, yes.
Because of increases.
And it gives everybody peace of mind if they come in, if they want to build a house that's going to be on Frisco water, you come in here and you say, this is what it costs to get water.
Mm-hmm.
That conversation would have went a lot different yesterday.
And it's just like Pike Gibson. There's some of them they come off of, where the water department probably made money on it. It's not going to be any money to speak of in a sense, but at the same time, there's probably going to be somewhere they're going to lose $200 or $300 on it also.
Right. And these tap-ins, they're for new construction.
Correct.
I mean, when we have a new account, we have a set fee for that. But this is for actual new
Deposit of
construction.
$200.
And it's not something, I mean, as we all know, that happens every week around here by any means.
Right.
Right.
So would you go ahead and put the plus any excess installation material cost?
I would say so.
That was on the previous
Yes.
ordinance. Two ordinances ago.
And that's where, in my mind, if it would be something that would be board, that's where that fee would come in effect
Right.
at. I mean, it's one thing to, be $150 or $200 short on a water install with this fee. It's another thing to be $1,500 shy, and the town has to eat that,
Well, and they would know beforehand because you would place it and have that discussion beforehand. So it wouldn't be a surprise.
And I mean, a lot of this is inevitable. Everything's getting more expensive.
Right. And the main reason that you were wanting to have this discussion is because how it kind of was read is you work directly with the.
I don't know that it was necessarily read that way, but that's the way that how it's been is I would go and do the work, and then I would have to bill the customer, and then I would have to deal with the customer to get paid rather than, even though I'm working for the town. To me, and I think we all kind of spoke about that and agreed that the town should pay that bill and the customer pays the town.
Yeah.
So I see the difference in this one. It has it broken down to the commercial, agriculture, and industrial.
Mm-hmm.
And the old one that we're looking at doesn't have that breakdown.
But she's, I think, saying we would want to keep that just because the commercial, agriculture, and industrial, those are going to be more, but just saying actual cost to include. But the residential, if it's 3/4 or larger, is that still going to be the 1,600, or is it going to be?
No, 3/4 or larger is going to have to be more expensive than that.
Would we just keep actual cost?
Personally, I think that would be your best bet because, like I said, material prices on those fluctuate so much that most likely a 2-inch.
So per your post, we wouldn't have to say commercial, agricultural, because that's just adding words. We could just, if we said 3/4 or larger, actual cost to include all labor and materials.
Yes, but you're putting Kicks in the position of having to deal with the people.
Yeah,
As far
I
as
think on
cost.
that would, the biggest thing I see an issue with that is as far as your guys' side, anything that big, like all of our meter setters, I mean, we've got the equipment or, the material on hand to probably do 10 or 12 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Where, that's kind of what our rates are based off of now. We're probably not going to use those up in the next 2 years, but new water, taps in to where anything else like 2-inch meters, 2-inch setters, anything of that realm is going to be, we're going to have to go to the store and buy it. So then, just like everything else is continually going up,
Mm-hmm.
where, we say, yeah, this meter is going to cost $400. Well, when we go to buy it, it may be up to $550 or $600.
Yeah.
So instead of saying a flat rate, could you guys do like an estimate?
Well, and a lot of those are going to differ. Like on a regular residential meter, I mean, in a sense, the water line is fairly cheap. If we've got to go an extra 50 feet, well, it's going to cost $12.
Mm-hmm.
To where if we're running 2-inch or bigger, we start getting different footages. We're going to start getting in the hundreds of dollars. And that's where it's kind of hard to put a number on that.
I can't even remember ever having one. maybe they did. But
CenterPoint has one at their substation. the school has a 2-inch meter, but
Yeah, it's been there a long time. They're paying a high rate on.
Not much going in there.
Yeah.
Well, in the newer ordinance for the commercial, agriculture, and industrial, it also says and $100 process fee to the utility, which it didn't on the old. What was the reasoning, or do we know?
No idea.
Okay. So I'm thinking when we come back in January to update this, I mean, the residential, we would keep it, or we would do what it has been in the last year or so, about 1,600. Should we increase it or just keep it at 1,600? Because again, like you said, things change, but I mean, this ordinance can change too if need be because of
I mean,
materials.
you want to keep it as cheap as possible, of course. I mean, I think pretty well any of them we put in that we don't have to bore, we're going to be able to stay
That's 16.
there or under. And like I said, just like they said at Pike Gibson, there's going to be some of them that, you come out $300 a head on. There's going to be some of them that, cost you a couple $100.
To kind of go back to what it used to say, like 1,600 plus any excess installation cost.
Yeah, I'd take that over 500 out of there.
Yeah, just in case, yeah. And then the over the 3/4 or larger, do you think it's smart, again, from your experience, to keep the wording around commercial, agricultural, industrial?
I think it's going to be hard to set a price on that you actually stick to. I feel like if you can't stick to it, there's really not a whole lot of reason to have it.
To have it in there, yeah, exactly. Okay.
So just actual cost on that.
I would say that's probably the best option.
So that's for water tap in.
Right. What do you think, Rick?
I think you're doing a good job.
So you agree with the 1,600 because you're not going to be here at the January meeting?
I believe what he says, that'd be good.
Okay.
That'd be a nice,
Well, that's been the estimate, or that's been the average.
Yeah, it's really, like I said, it's really not increasing anything. It's just having a peace of mind that you come in here, this is what it's
This is
going to
what it
be.
is.
what it's gonna be.
Again, for new construction,
Yeah.
not for somebody that's moving in here.
Mhm.
That's the $200 account for a
Right.
account. Is there anything else within the water ordinance that you are affected by when you're doing these tap-ins or other work?
Someone had written here why. Used to the town paid $6,000 some dollars to the water department for the fire hydrant usage. And then at some point, we put in a hydrant ordinance where we bill the customers for that to collect rather than,
That's part of each bill. It's the
yes, yeah, it's on,
water,
on the
wastewater,
bill.
and fire.
I think it says fire protection,
Fire
but
protection,
it's,
right.
it's the hydrant. So that's what it is.
But aren't there two, like if you're farther than,
If you're out of town, there's a charge for being out of town.
no, but I thought, because are there some places that are farther than the 1,250 feet? Or not 1,250, yeah. Or not, or is everybody within a hydrant that's within that?
Not everyone's within 1,250 feet.
No.
Unless that's only people,
No.
unless that's only people in town.
It's people in town and the system,
Well, it says any Francisco, Indiana water user within 1,250 feet is charged that one fee. But it's more, isn't it? But I think mine was more than that. And I'm really close to one right across the,
What was it?
to anyone within,
Can I see yours?
yeah, but then I think if you're outside of that 1,250, you pay more. Do you guys know?
Do you think yours is more than that?
thought it was. I have to look at my. I can look at an old one. Look at an old one. But again, Kick, is there anything else from your perspective in the water ordinance? Nothing
There
what
are
you have to do?
some that are more than that. But not many at all that I've seen.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything that
so it's just the town.
affiliates me with the water stuff.
Because when you have to put in a new meter or you have to do something, that cost is there, right? Now this is just per charges, but how do you get, like, do you bill the town for that or do you bill the user for like a new meter? or something?
Currently, we have been billing the user, but that's what I was hoping to get away from is
As
just
well.
billing the town and the town bills the customer.
Right.
And I think that's how Johnny said that was always how it was before.
Right. We paid the contractor's bill and,
Which makes sense.
right,
Which is that something that needs to go in the ordinance or is that just
Yeah, because right now,
nothing says about that?
mm-mm.
Okay, actually mine from earlier this year does say
$2.24.
$2.24.
Mhm.
But you're saying there are people that have a higher one.
Yes, but I think that it was
We
a
have it.
mishap possibly within the system.
But you're saying, as it says here, why? Why are we doing that? And
because it's to make up for the town not paying the water department $6,000 some dollars. We're charging it out to the customers.
are we,
Per the hydrant ordinance that was put in effect several years ago.
so is that
I mean, that was
covering-
like a statewide thing where every town in the state was doing it about at the same time.
but are we recouping that then with that fee?
Close, but not,
Not completely.
yeah, not completely, but it's close.
There was one other thing that doesn't really pertain to me, but I had a question about because I've gotten asked about it numerous times. And every other town that I've ever worked in or dealt with has this, and this is in the ordinance, is basically only having one dwelling or business and dwelling on one meter. Saying that any
Yes.
other house, if there's two houses, it has to have 2 meters. If there's a house and a business, it has to have 2 meters. Everywhere else that we work is like that. It does state in here that it has to have 2 meters. But that is one thing I've been asked. So
Yeah, there is business out west of town.
that is
The
looking,
home and the business are on the same meter.
but they don't have water yet, I don't believe.
I don't know.
I don't,
I
because
can't imagine you'd be there. I mean, they've been in business for years that they didn't use water.
oh, okay. We're probably talking about a different one then, because I got asked about a new business west of town.
Oh.
That was, he's wanting to put water to the dwelling they're gonna live in. And was asking me about tapping into that line afterwards. I told him I couldn't answer that question, that there is an ordinance against it, but he'd have to talk to the board about that.
And that's, what page are you on?
Last page, second to last, section C.
They should have separate meters so that they can have two separate accounts.
Yeah, a separate and independent water meter shall be provided for every principal residential and or commercial building, except where waived by the Board of Works. Yeah, and that makes sense to have one for your business and one for your residential, so.
Yeah, because one's a tax write-off.
Uh,
I would think so. As a business owner, you would want to have them separate.
mhm. Do we know of any others that are not like that in town?
Not that I know of,
Okay.
but I know that's one thing that's been brought up in the,
In town?
not that I know of,
Okay.
but I know that's one thing that's been brought up in the past numerous times, and
And I guess that would be for separate buildings, because I know some people like work out of the home, so they can have businesses in the home, but if it's a separate.
Well, and I think it's a
Yes.
different story, in my opinion. It's a different story as far as, if you've got a house, you build a pole barn, you want to put a bathroom in your pole barn. To me, it'd be understandable to run a water line to your pole barn and have water there.
We did a pole barn and didn't put that in because of the ordinances that said that we would have to pay
Oh, wow.
a wastewater bill. We did not put one in because of that. I mean, I know other people that did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like I said, that doesn't really have anything for me on that. I just know that's something that's been brought up to, I've been asked several times about.
So if you have an apartment building, and one of the little churches here was used as an apartment complex at one time, and it just had one meter. How is that normally done with?
That's handled different ways at different places. I know like the new duplex buildings that got put in at Oklahoma City, we installed the meters there and there's 1 meter per duplex. But as far as I know, the board approved that because it technically has an ordinance against it. Other places, I believe, as far as I know, other apartment buildings have like a large meter, like a 2-inch meter that feeds the whole thing. And then as far as the bill getting split from that would be between the tenants and the
Yeah, this
landlord.
was just a regular, used to be the Gospel Ministry Church here in town. It just had a regular meter, like a residential meter. And the owner paid the entire bill, but he had at one point, had 3 families living in it.
On that, I don't have any experience with that.
I mean, if they're paying the water, I mean,
But if it's used as an apartment, should it have a bigger meter?
The only thing that the meter's really going to fluctuate on that is really on their end as far as water pressure. Because it's not really like going to cost the town any more money because it's still going to meter either way. But
Okay. Just to,
yeah, it's something to think
Think
about
about.
though in the future.
Okay. Anything else on the water side? Or I know we were going to maybe look at the wastewater as well.
but I see it says that the
Yeah, Ben.
It's a meter on it right now, water.
200,
200.
Most of the meters have water hooked up.
Yeah.
To be made, so
I see it says on my check that the clerk treasurer charges $33 now. Is that what the bank is charging? Do you know?
Not that I'm aware of, because we had one come back before, but they didn't charge us anything on that.
I mean, we can look at all that piece. Decide if it needs to be updated for 26.
Okay. Just to note, when you have to have it advertised in the paper, unfortunately,
Right.
and it's very expensive because you have to have the entire thing. You can't just have that one paragraph that you changed,
It's with the whole ordinance in
the
there.
old ordinance. So it'd be $600, $700, $800, and it has to be advertised twice. So we want to make sure that we have everything changed that we want to change.
So we may not.
You may want to look at it
Yeah.
some more, is what I'm saying. You want to make sure it's all, you have all the changes.
Are we sure they did that with this last one?
I have no idea what they did with the last one. I just know, I mean, they could have changed the law since I left here, but I still get all the updates from the state
And
on my computer.
I guess really
We'll want to double check before we have to pay that if we have to do it.
on that part of it, I mean, and this would be totally up to you guys, but really charging, just say if you went with the 1,600, that's really not going against this ordinance. Is it? Because it says actual cost. I mean, that's going to be pretty well the actual cost, but that's a number to go off of. If someone comes in to Tasha or whoever and says, "Hey, I want to have a new water service,"
Right.
you know,
You want them paying us and then we pay you.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to,
And that's not said one way or another in here either.
yeah. And that's what I was saying. I mean, that's totally up to you guys, but would the ordinance actually have to be changed? Or would that just kind of be
That's just an addendum to
That or
the
even,
treasurer.
you know, what you'd be doing really is going against this ordinance because that is the actual cost. You know, if they just know, if you know it's gonna be
As of right now.
$1,600. And then
Which,
if it goes up,
Having it be its actual cost allows us not to have to change it. We just know the
It
actual
does, but you
cost.
still, you would be dealing with them. How are we gonna know the actual cost?
Well, it's when working with them or with Kicks or whoever.
So it'd be Kix getting us an estimate and us notifying the customer of what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And then we bill them, he bills us.
In the past, they had to pay their tap-in fee before any work was done.
that's how it is.
Well,
Yeah,
and
it's
if,
the work
even
also.
if you get it this past or changed in January, we wouldn't be able to charge anybody
Couple months.
a couple months, yeah,
Why is that?
because you're changing the ordinance. Doesn't go into effect in at least 30 days, right?
But at the same time, with that being said, if the actual cost is 1,600, you're still going off the old ordinance, right?
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it's clearer if you put the amount in, but
Yeah, well, I agree with you.
I have one
100%
vote.
on that.
against two,
Yeah.
so.
Well,
I agree with that too, but
I also don't want to spend money that if we don't need to.
Well, I agree
All
with
that.
that, yes.
I guess we can continue to look at it and want to make sure that that law is still that you have to do all that stuff. And then determine at the next meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
and this, one, the wastewater, you guys need to probably look at. This has not been changed since 2002. These ordinances since they did change the rate a little bit. Twice since 2002. But the rate ordinance, user ordinance, and all these things that we had to put into effect. Use ordinance probably would be nice if, and it's extensive. If you could get copies of those and see if there's anything that needs to be changed. If you could get copies of those and see if there's anything that needs to be changed.
I mean, this is just
Maybe,
one page, right?
Yeah, this is only the one page that had the connection fee, the tap-in fee, $750.
That's something else you need to address because you're gonna be losing money hand over fist on that.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Would you mind to please make copies?
What would a sewer tap-in fee be now?
Oh, plus you have to think about future, what's going in, maybe going in, out, east of town.
Right.
And I feel like that, you know, I'm not on board. Don't quote me on this, but in my opinion, that needs to be set up something like the water. You know, where there's a commercial
Mhm.
and a residential tap.
So we might still need to put something, if there's a law that says we have to ordinance.
Mhm.
And that's like with sewer tap, and that's like with sewer taps. There's a lot of, I mean, anymore, you can rack up $750 in backfill material to, you know, over $750 in backfill material doing a sewer tap
Mhm.
very easily.
Okay,
So she's gonna make the copies of these,
the old ones.
right?
And again, this is all just for tap-ins, both what we've been talking about. This is not changing anything at rates.
No, not changing rates. It's the tap in for somebody that comes into town. Or
So that-
maybe somebody that would add a business
Yeah.
on a property that's in town that would want to tap.
Well, and I guess actually after rereading this, I misread it last time. It states based on the actual cost of connection, but not less than $750.
So it's similar then to
Yeah.
what it currently says.
It's basically a time and material thing.
Just making sure we have all the wording correctly so that when we do get new,
And that is something, which me and you talked about earlier. That guy down there is pretty well ready for sewer tap. I guess it's kind of up to you guys how you want to handle that as far as if you want to make him.
Pay $750.
well, not less than actual
That-
cost.
We collected the tap-in fee before the work was done. So it's not like you can say, okay, we're gonna do the work, and now it was only 500 and it won 750.
I hear what you're saying. But is that what it says?
So
I mean, in our ordinances now, does it say that?
it's in that one, I think.
But that they pay before?
Not
It
that
doesn't say
not
that.
that I've read, but I think that's just kind of customary wherever.
Well, I guess it could also be we have 750, and if it's more,
I mean,
you build it.
Right?
I would venture to say 75 to 80% of your sewer taps are going to be 1,500 plus. Just because a lot of times the sewer taps you're going to wind up being deep with, and a lot of the sewer's
Yeah.
deep, and then backfill material. Because most of the time you can't put the dirt right back in the hole.
But similar to what we're saying with this tap-in fee for the water, I mean, it doesn't say that, give a deposit or anything other than for the actual,
No,
Account.
there wasn't any.
except for account, but not for a tap-in fee.
Right.
So in that case, if you tap in for them or whoever, you're gonna give us a bill and we bill them, which would be similar for the sewer. This is what I'm reading. Yeah, because even like section 6 there, such rates and charges shall be prepared, billed, and collected by the town. So,
And down there, and this is totally up to you guys, but he's wanting to get a new water tap there also, which he didn't say he's ready for that. That's what he was going to ask about, tapping on his line, whatever. The problem with how that's set up is they ran it across the highway. There's 3 meters that sit right there together. One goes to church, one goes to Holtzclaw, one runs all the way down the edge of the highway to Paul Ashbrook's trailer. And I don't know how you could go about this. There's really not any room to put a 4th meter in there. What would be the way that would make the most sense, in my opinion, is him to pay a water tap. And I mean, it would have to be, I guess, both landowners agreeing on it. Him to pay a water tap. And I know Paul Ashbrook was wanting to get that meter moved down there by the trailer. So for him, what would make the most sense would be for him to take over the meter that now serves as Paul Ashbrook's trailer, because there's not room to put another one in there and put another one down further that goes to Paul Ashbrook's trailer.
oh. So really it's just changing.
Basically.
You'd have to.
I don't really know.
I mean, are the meters per accounts?
Yes.
Okay, so you just,
Meter number
Meter.
per account.
right. So we would just have to get that, at some point, change it. if we
and
want to
that
do
that puts some, more legwork into it, but there really isn't any room to put a 4th meter there. And
That's what you-
But you're saying he's not ready for that at this point.
I think he's getting pretty close to being ready. He was just wanting to figure out whether he was gonna have to get a new meter or be able to tap onto his line, which, like I said, that's totally up to you guys, but the ordinance states there should be 2 meters there.
I think there should be 2 meters, and I think if the other guy's wanting the 2, I mean, it makes sense to just charge it as it's being done.
I mean, essentially, that guy would be paying for a water tap for someone else, but he's gonna be paying for it either way.
Yeah, right. And then we would just have to change the account per that meter to him and the other one to the other person. Adding another water meter for this property, but
Changing meters.
adding a meter and changing the names on the meter just because of where they are currently set.
You'd need to close out an account, open a new account with a new meter number. I think
Yeah,
it wouldn't be, you can't change that meter number and then once you're replacing the meter, could possibly do the process that replaces the meter to change the number.
When are we doing this?
We don't know.
we don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nothing's happening right now.
I was like, how much did I miss? Okay, we're good.
See you, man.
Have a good-
Don't miss us too much. Don't miss us too much.
All right. So is there anything else? I think we'll need to come back, and I guess you'll just let us know what you want to do. But we'll have to come back in January and have this on as a line item to discuss,
Okay.
and then see what we
Decide
want.
whether you're gonna do it.
Decide if we're going to change it, and if we are, then we might have to even like discuss the changes and then do all the stuff if there is the law.
Yes,
So if you can look into
I
that.
will.
Well, technically, you guys can talk about that on the 13th and then go from
Yes,
there, right?
that's what we're
Okay,
saying. Yeah.
cool.
So have an agenda item to discuss this. There will be then the additional discussion if we want to change it, and if we do change it, then we have to do it for the law if there is a law
Okay.
of the copies and all that fun stuff.
And then on the meeting on the 23rd, I know it's over that contract. Is there anything, is it going to be open? Is it going to
It'll be an executive session.
be executive?
Yeah,
Okay.
so we
That's
will-
what I need to know.
Personnel/contract issues.
Yeah.
All right.
So there will be an executive session on, is that Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, the 23rd at 9 a.m. for a discussion on contracts.
And can you get that contract
Electronic.
email to Hannah?
Yeah, we need to send it to Hannah just so we can double check if it's
Well,
allowable change or not.
maybe. We'll see how it goes with the printer.
Okay. Kix, do you have anything else at the moment?
I don't think so.
All right.
I think I've caused enough confusion.
Ladies, do you have any questions?
No,
No.
we just thought you was gonna change the meters and the billing and everything.
Nothing there.
Nope.
Nothing there. No.
No.
Maybe in the
Nothing really
future, but
exciting
nothing.
tonight.
Nothing right now. We've not
Right
even done anything since the last meeting. So
Okay,
I like your
It's baby
guys'
steps.
Christmas shirts. I like them.
thank you.
So what, with this guy down here at this sewer tap, I guess what do we need to do on that?
I mean, per the current ordinance, I mean, if you want,
Or I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'll just send him your phone number. and tell him to call you.
I mean, I'm good with you starting it. And I mean, we have it in the ordinance of what, not less than, and, if you just let him know that, and then that he'll be billed by the town.
Okay, so does he need to come up here probably and sign something with her?
Yeah, if you're not gonna make him pay ahead of time, you need to have him sign something.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Okay. For
I mean,
both,
and I guess really that would be he's gonna be a new water customer to be able to have sewer there, so is that
I
what?
mean, he's already a new water customer. We just,
but he
like
might need an
house.
additional
on the
Water meter.
building or in the house? Are there
No,
two accounts
No,
now?
no,
There's only one account, so we
Right.
will need to have two accounts at some point.
Right.
That's
So
what,
that's
well, that's what
another-
we were
that's,
discussing
okay.
with the
All right,
water.
so we're going, he has to have the 2 meters. Got it. I'm catching up, yeah.
So then we
No,
just
no,
have to figure out
no.
what we're gonna do on the meter situation.
Yes. But the sewer one will just be one sewer.
He's
Right.
already connected the church or old church, whatever you want to call it. It currently has water and currently has sewer, dealership, showroom.
Okay, but the house does not.
The house does
Didn't
not.
have either. Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, which it never was a house before. It was
It's
like
like had a picnic table in the middle, and then they covered
Okay.
the outside of it.
Yeah, they just shut it up. and make
Yeah.
fun of it.
Oh, interesting. All right, well, I think that's all for today. So I'll just make a motion to close this special session.
Second.
I'll second it.
All approved?
Yay.
Or all in favor? Say aye. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.